We are back to studio now with my next guest, Natalie Louise-Smith and Sarah Sienna Edwards from Urban Brew Design Collective. Good afternoon, Natalie. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
What's happening at the event at the moment? How does it work so far?
Okay, well, at the moment, we've got all of our volunteers who've taken part in a 2-day workshop, and they're teaching the public how to sew with little skills like sewing on buttons or customizing their clothing. And they've all got a little stand that shows the work that they produced in the workshop and also sort of little bits and pieces that they've produced across the day today. And then the formation of the structure behind us is based on the iCulture puzzle, which we've got to take a photograph of tomorrow. So we've basically created an area for the volunteers to do work and interact with the public. And what we're also asking the public to do is to vote on the craft which they think they should pass on to future generations.
Yeah, fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit more about Urban Brew? Who are you actually?
Well, we work as a design collective. There's 7 of us. There's myself, Sarah, Mark, Raquel, Dorota, Cuba and Phil. We're all from a variety of different backgrounds: spatial design, architecture, product design, and we work with the public on public events, cultural events, production of events, design and management, all aimed at engaging the public in kind of engaging them in, trying to incorporate them and getting them involved in a project.
And why did you find iCulture Puzzle Project interesting?
I think we found it most interesting because it's at a huge scale. It's got 12 capital cities involved in it, and we took part in the Warsaw event and we met all the other teams who are all fantastic. And it's very, very exciting to work with people from all over the world in producing something to celebrate Polish culture. So we found that really exciting.
And what was your interpretation of this project?
For us, we all have a three-dimensional background, so for us we kind of took the puzzle and extruded it to give it a three-dimensional atmosphere, to create a kind of installation piece rather than being a flat puzzle. That helped us house all the different elements of the project, and again the focus is on the public participating and kind of being involved with it and really contributing to our puzzle piece.
Yeah, and what we did was we decided to take the idea of a pulled thread. So when you snag your jumper on, a thorn or something and you get a snag, we decided to sort of extrude that and magnify it and bring that here to the National Theatre and then get people to rework into that structure. So we're asking people when they vote to tie a piece of material into the structure, and we're going to try and rebuild sort of a new structure from what we've developed as a concept.
Could you describe, please, what have you done so far today?
Key point is engaging with the public, getting them to sit down and talk with the volunteers about what they've learned in the past couple of days in the workshop, trying to get them involved in new skills and kind of see new crafts, and again, an element is the voting system where people can vote about which craft they believe is of most importance, of most significance in London.
Yeah, and how did your background and previous experience prepare you for this project?
Well, we work on cultural events mainly, and so we always try to make a project work with the public. So we like to have a less predetermined outcome. So it's something where we can invite people to come along and say, well, what do you think? How do you think this project should be? And it should be a collaborative effort. We try not to predetermine the elements. So in our previous projects, we've worked with the British Museum and we've worked with hidden cities on festivals and projects similar to this where we actually actively engage the public.
Yeah, and what is your role as a London partner of this project?
We have developed the concepts for the puzzle piece. We have designed the installation itself, managed logistics and production, but the key thing is adapting it for London, because each city is completely different and London has a really high quality of public events, so we needed to really step it up and produce that kind of standard. So that's what we did as Urban Brew.
Yeah, and what we've done is we've recruited volunteers who are all really interested in crafts and have their own background in either design or craft, and who really wanted to develop their own skills or to sort of touch upon things that they'd sort of not done for a few years, and they've all done very unique, different pieces of work.
And what would you say? How is this project on craft relevant to today?
Well, I think it's relevant today because we often take craft for granted, and the whole point of iCulture is to say, well, hang on a minute, you know, what do we do when we buy things these days when they're mass produced, and how is it that we can sort of reconnect? And it's trying to remind people that it only takes 5 minutes to sort of customize something or do something a little bit different off their own accord rather than just buying things. And it's about thinking a little bit more about the amount of time it takes to produce things. And we've got on site today, we've got Alva Wilson, who is a milliner, so he makes hats, and he's kindly joined us to basically celebrate his craft, which is fantastic, and explain that. And we've also had our sponsors LMB donate textiles for the workshops and for the voting, so that we're actually using fabrics that Londoners have worn before, and we've recycled them and we're now using them in this project. So it feels very unique to London.
Ladies, thank you very much for your time and for joining us today. And I think it would be great if we can just, talk to our volunteers as well.
Absolutely, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.